And welcome back. We want to talk about openings on United Board, and to help us do that, we are going to be welcoming Charlie Prady, the president, and Maggie Blackwell, secretary for United Mutual. Thank you guys for joining us today. So before we jump into that, I want to ask you about, you guys are looking for candidates. We have a couple openings we'll talk about, but what made you guys decide to serve and run and serve this community for so long? Charlie?
Well, I've been in the community for about going on 11 years, I think, over 11. And you see the way things go, and you don't get involved, but then you get involved in clubs, and then you hear this, and people approach you and stuff like that.
Right.
So a few years ago, I was having a conversation with a couple of people in one of the clubs, and I said, why don't you run for the United Board? And I said, what? So it was sort of funny because I'm going, I don't know, retirement's been, busy enough. I heard long ago that when you retire, you do more when you retire than you did when you worked. And I used to laugh at that. But no, it's pretty true.
Yeah, it kind of opens up a whole world.
It opens up
right?
a whole new world. United has a very good board. It attracted me, and I see people, and every 3 years we change at least 3 people every year. So you see people come and go a lot. You're allowed to have 2 3-year terms. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it my go, and I'm going to dedicate at least 3 years to this.
Right.
And then you get more involved in the committees and stuff like that. And last year I was the treasurer for United, and we set some goals. We made a lot of our goals last year. I think going forward we have a good prospect of doing what we want to do in 2026. Our board is very cohesive of each other. They get along. We work things out. We talk the pros. We look at the cons. So that's what really drew me into this. I didn't really have an agenda to run on, so my whole thing was, hey, let's be more transparent.
Okay.
Let's let the village know what's going on.
All right. And Maggie, what was your origin story? What said, I'm going to stop doing all this fun retirement stuff and start working on the board?
Well, I moved here, and I immediately joined 2 clubs, the Women's Golf 18, and I joined the Bridge Club. And at the Bridge Club, there were several people who were running for offices. And so they'd hand around their fact sheets, and we'd read them and say, oh, Henry, that sounds really good. And so I met people there, and I thought, that's interesting. But I got on the Women's Golf Board, and I was on that for 9 years. And then I was president twice. And then I retired back to golf and bridge. And then somebody said, when they needed somebody on United, they said, why don't you run? And I said, well, I could. And that was 10 years ago, and I've been on the boards ever since.
Okay. Did you have pros, cons, like here's why I shouldn't, here's why I should, or you just say, you know what, let's just give it a shot?
No, it was okay.
Works, right?
I mean, after managing the women's 18-hole club, I had a big club.
Yeah.
And so I was used to dealing with people, and so it was a nice switch. So.
Yeah, for Charlie, did you serve on any committees, or what skills do you say, you know what, I can serve here, and I can bring my accounting skills or my agriculture skills or whatever it might be to the board?
I actually had about 50 years of major corporate work.
Okay.
Worked for, in that 50-year span, I worked for IBM, Panasonic, and Xerox.
So you knew how to run projects, maybe manage some budgets, things like that?
I had the Western region to take care of with 2 of those, and budgets, and making sure you meet your budgets, where to trim, where not to trim. And I brought that to the table, and it's helped me a lot. I didn't have to guess. And what's nice about it is to have the support of the board. And we all look forward to going in the same direction.
Well, let's talk about these openings. We have 2 vacancies that you guys are looking to fill. One of the terms ends in 2027, the other one in 2028. Applications are open right now? People can come pick them up?
Yes, they are. Our applications opened up Monday, and I hope that we get a good calling. I think there's some very, very, very eligible people here that can really help us.
And Maggie, are you out there telling people, like people came and told you, hey, you should run for the board? Are you out there, saying, hey, you're a prospect?
Absolutely. And I was at a meeting the other day it was a private club meeting, and so I talked to them, and many of them are candidates or have been active in the boards. Once you're on the board, they kind of repeat. And so it was a very good thing. But we have turnover all the time, and this one will be a board vote only. The regular annual elections are a big hoo-ha, and you have to turn in your application, and then you wait, and you advertise in the paper, and you make speeches, and you join clubs and all that stuff. But this time you don't have to do that because they're filling in partial positions.
So they're going to kind of do a candidate statement kind of thing, the application, and then they're going, what will the process after they, let's say they meet that deadline, is there an interview with the board? How does it work from there? Right.
Then the board asks some questions, all the questions that we usually ask. That's televised. And then the board members vote. Ordinarily you wait 3 months and the people vote. But this time it's shorter.
Yeah, we will actually take the applications, and then they'll come in front of the board, which will be broadcast. They'll have openings, statements, and then they'll take questions both from the board, and if there's somebody out there that submits a question, we'll definitely look at that too. And the same day, we have them give their closing statements. And then the same day, we vote. So it's going to be a long day of statements and voting and getting people seated in the new board.
It'll seem very fast to them.
Yeah, it will. Like, boo. It will. I turned an application, now I'm on the board. What happened?
Right.
Yeah, what happened? I do get a kick out of it because the process, like when there was 3 of us, we got things and the votes read, and then immediately the seats are taken. So it's like a little chess game. All of a sudden, people are moving up in the board positions and stuff like that.
Right. No more kids table. They're all up there with you.
No,
That's right.
You're on the duty right immediately.
Same day.
Assignments for committees.
Then the question would be, you guys talked about cohesiveness on the board and working together. Do you also want to look for somebody who might be even a contrarian that'll challenge? Say, hey, we want your own person on that board, right? No matter if they agree or don't agree with all of the policies or board kind of decision making, right?
I don't think we want a contrarian. What we want is, because the boards have to work together to come up with a unified proposition. And so what we want is an analytical mind that can talk to people and persuade people. And so you're listening here at the meeting, and you think, well, this person sounds good, and this idea sounds good, and then you hear another one, and you had already a preconceived notion, and then somebody else speaks, and what happens is the director's own idea shapes and reshapes with the people talking about the issue. And so by the time it comes to vote, we also have heard the members talk. And so then we get out a statement that fits everybody as best we can. So the more people we have talking and the more views are covered, the better our decision will be. So we do want not opposing, but other
interesting viewpoints, some aspects we haven't thought of before, things like that.
Right. We don't want to be blindsided by anything because we just go right ahead. You don't like that.
How important is it to maybe serve on a committee? I mean, obviously the candidates don't have to have served; they don't have that kind of. How important is it for people to kind of get an idea of what the workings of the board is, and the real work happens really. A lot of the work happens at that committee level.
Oh, a lot of work in the committee. We have multiple committees, and it's important. If you're not, you will be assigned committees, and a minimum of probably 3 at least. So it's important for you to understand those committees. I know before I ran, excuse me, I went to every meeting I could. I was going to third meetings. I was going to GRF meetings. I was going to VMS meetings. I was going to as many meetings as I could to see the foundation. Okay. And then you can really make up your mind of where you want to focus. And like I said, we have a lot of good committee. Committee takes the ideas and brings them to the board.
Okay.
And that's when we get down on them and really get in deep.
Maggie, what do you think some of the attributes are that you look for in a candidate in terms of like, well, we want somebody who has this kind of personality trait or this kind of approach to things?
Right. Well, I've known a lot of directors that keep repeating in different places. You can be on GRF, you can be on United, you can be on VMS. You have so many committees, and these people have been working in the village for years, maybe 15 or 20 years, bouncing from committee to committee, and they are stalwarts. They know everything. I made a list of their attributes. They're a team player, they're reliable, truthful, uses diplomacy, demonstrates common sense, able to learn and listen, negotiates with reason, evaluates carefully, is patient, open-minded, has business or organizational experience, has past committee experience, willing and able to read documents. That's a killer. Maintains confidentiality, will work without thanks or pay, obeys laws and regulations, of course, unafraid to change opinions, able to evaluate ideas, recognizes United's purpose, sees the whole picture, does not need special attention.
There you go.
Okay, so
I'll add one. Can take criticism sometimes from the public.
Oh, that's able to withstand the barrage.
Yeah.
Right.
That is so important.
So any 5, 7, or 10 of those would be fine. And most of your friends will have those attributes.
As folks are looking to come on the board and serve, what are some of the biggest challenges you believe, as directors already, that you will be facing that a board member should be prepared to start to take on, when they get in that hot seat right after, on that day?
Well, yeah, you may call it the hot seat, but, there's a number of times that I've gone into the boardroom with my mind made up. Okay, I'm going to vote this way. I looked at this, and then you get in the boardroom and one of the directors or staff members will come in from ES and really lay it out how it is, okay? And not convincing, but actually explaining it exactly what's going to happen and how, where, project-wise and everything else. And I have changed my mind in the last moment going, you know what, this is good for the board, okay? This is good for the owners, it's good for the members of our community. And that's number one. Number one is I think we focus on making sure that it's a positive thing that will help our community go forward. And going forward and getting it done in a timely way.
And Maggie, would you agree? That mindset of being open-minded and saying, okay, there's an argument coming our way. I'm not just going to dig in my heels, but I'm going to be open and listen to those things.
Absolutely. Right? You should read everything you get beforehand, and we usually get a thick package for every committee. And so you should look through that and underline and whatever and put your questions in so that in the committee or in the board meeting, if you're going, you are ready. And when you hear something and they ask something, then you respond. So the best thing is to read the agenda first. Everything. I cannot tell you how good the website is on this. Every agenda is on the website. Everything is open for us. In some communities, that's not true, but that's what we've always been.
Now, speaking of website, you say that, but for the candidates, if they want to pick up an application, that has to be done in person, right? It's still a paper kind of process there?
Yes, yes, it is. They need to come to this building, the administration building on El Toro Road, get an application, come to the consul's desk. They will go upstairs. They'll bring you down an application and then fill it out and get it back. It's important, and this is not an application. The thing about the application, one thing we really want to stress is fill everything out. Don't leave anything blank.
Right.
And we had to go back sometimes. Like, we didn't know this about you, or you didn't explain this.
Okay.
And you know that you're going to be busy one day a month for sure.
Right.
Okay. But you're also going to have some 2-hour meetings of at least 3.
Right.
Okay, a month. And that's not that much, but you can put into it as much time as you want.
Right. And I don't want to use the word sacrifice, but you're going to have to make choices. If you're going to serve on a board, and if you already have a really busy schedule, then you have to look at committee service and the board service and say, okay, am I willing to give up A, B, and C to be able to serve the board?
That's right.
Right?
We've had
Absolutely.
some very nice people who intended well, but they just had other things in their life, and they just can't fit all the meetings in that they need to fit. The pink application is the application. Some people just staple a statement about themselves on the back of the application, but the application is the pink paper.
Right.
Fill out the pink paper.
I can imagine it's a little bit telling if they can't even follow that rule, then they
Right.
might not be the best board member.
Exactly right. Exactly.
I think it's on your screen right now. There it is, the
Yeah.
2-page application. It's not long. You don't have to make a documentary of it, but fill it out completely. That's the most important thing.
And it's so easy for the director and the community then to compare people. If we look at the first page, you can put 4 people's applications out here. You look at the first page and you
Right.
compare them.
Right.
And they won't all be the same. Heaven help us, we're not all the same. and the more different we are, but the more cooperative we are, then maybe the better board we have.
There we go. And the deadline's coming up.
Yep.
Right.
Let's get those turned in, and then 2 days later, it's interview time.
That's it. It's interview time. We're going to close the gap really, really fast on this.
Well, all right. So give me a pitch here, Maggie. What is the thing you love about serving on the board, or something you didn't realize how much you get from it?
I like the interaction. I was a teacher for a long time, and then I was a defense attorney for a long time. So I'm used to talking to people. But this is talking to people about good issues and things like that. We solve problems, we solve questions. We're doing some ADA handicap issues in governing documents this time to be sure that we have our pathways and things are safe for people to walk in. And so those things are really interesting. You wouldn't think that you had to do those things on the board.
Yeah, and you make those accomplishments. You say, we did that. We made this a better place to live. Charlie, kind of same question?
Sure. Getting the people involved, I think, is more important than anything. Listening is number one. I walk a lot, so I get a lot of people giving me talks and suggestions. One thing I really like to see, and I hope it happens, is getting more people into the boardroom at the board meetings. We have, over 6,000 people in United.
Right.
Way over that. I get so excited when I walk in there and I see the room full of people. Now, they may not be all happy people, okay?
But at least they're engaged.
They're engaged, they're there. And people are seeing how this board is making things happen. We got some good projects coming, and we want to make sure everybody knows, and we want to get everybody involved.
All right. If you want to serve with Maggie and Charles, you can do so. Pick up that candidate application today and get it in. Maggie and Charlie, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back with a movie preview.